Hey y'all, and welcome to my channel, Planning with the Bree. Today I am going to be sharing with you guys what I'm going to be reading this month. Hey guys, I'm so sorry about the audio, and this was actually going to be a part of a reading vlog, but I decided to clip it down and make it a separate video. How are you guys doing? What are you guys reading? Did y'all get involved in spooky season? Are you now ready for the holiday season? What is going on? I will say this, I am obviously a mood reader. The covers of these books follow a color scheme, and I'm excited for y'all to see what that color scheme is. Okay, so let's get into it. So right now, or so recently, I have been interested in mystery and thriller type books. So once I got my hands on a library card, I just went in. I went to my local library, and these are the books that I chose to check out. Some of these books I haven't even started yet, which is a whole thing when you have a library card, because you have to bring them back. You can extend the length of time that you want to keep them, but what if somebody really wants to read it and they don't know they want to read it because it's not in the library, they don't see it, and they don't know they want to read it. So I'm like, you know. But let's start with working with Gen Z. I decided to pick this book up because a lot of the co-workers and the that I manage are Gen Z. It says this new generation hosts the promise of the future and is coming soon, if it hasn't already, to an office, inbox, Zoom, and Slack channel near you. So I'm a little excited about this. I have started reading it. I've read about 2 chapters, and it's not as boring as I thought it was going to be, which is exciting. So I'll get back into this when I'm in the vibe of being a little bit more on the educational side. Next thing I picked up and started to read, but I haven't finished yet, is The Last Time I Lied by Riley Sager. I've read 3 of his books. They're very easy to read. If you don't know who Riley Sager is, which most of you watching this channel probably do, but he is a thriller slash mystery type author. I've read his books. The only one left, Lock Every Door, and the other one that I liked, The House Across the Lake. That was the one I liked that a lot of people don't like. The Last Time I Lied is about an art teacher who, back in the day, she had gone to the summer camp with some friends, and 3 of those friends left the tent or the sleeping quarters that they were in, and they never came back. So this art teacher, who is now grown and she's now doing her thing, is now pursued to come back and teach art classes at the same summer camp where these young girls went missing. So she's going to go back there, see if she can put the pieces together and figure out what happens. I am a little interested in this book, but I have seen some reviews that say that the ending is a little underwhelming. We'll see. But about 1 or 2 chapters in, it hasn't really hooked me that well yet. I think honestly I'm just over his writing. I read 3 books in like 3 weeks. Anyway, I'm gonna give you guys an update about this book when I continue to read it, but at this point I'm not sure if I will, because I've started another book that I really enjoy, and we may or may not get back to this before it's due back to the library. The next book that I started to read but have not finished yet, as you guys can tell, I am a starter of books. Okay, I start books. It doesn't hook me, I end them. I read another book and it hooks me more, I don't finish it. That's the type of reader I am. I like to be hooked immediately, but not drastically. You know what I mean? Ease me into the hookage. Don't snap me up. The next book I want to talk about is The Maid by Nita Prose. Funny story about this book, I thought this was the book that everybody was raving about. You know the book The Housemaid? I'll put it right here. That one actually has a blue cover with yellow writing, but for some reason when I saw this, I thought that this was the book, and it is not. This book is about this woman named Molly. Literally, her name is Molly the maid. Molly's orderly life is upended the day she enters the suite of the infamous and wealthy Charles Black, only to find in a state of disarray and Mr. Black himself dead in his bed. But will they be able to find the real killer before it's too late? This seems like a really cute read. They're like 1 or 2 chapters, and it's really cute. I was just also watching TV at the same time, and I just more than any of the other ones, I want to get back to this one to see what happens. Next, Transcendent Kingdom by Yagi. I still don't know how to pronounce this author's name, and I first found out about Yagi about her book, from her book Homecoming. I'll put right here on the screen for you guys, but Homecoming was an amazing book. It was about these 2 young sisters through their father. They each had a different mother. The 2 sisters from Ghana, one is sold into slavery and one is basically sold into marriage to a European who is into the slave trade. And it follows their lineage through generations and generations for the entirety of the book. I loved it. I still think about some of those characters to this day. And I read this book 4 years ago. With that being said, when I heard about Transcendent Kingdom by Yagi Yasi, I knew I had to pick it up. This one is about a neuroscientist who is studying the behaviors of mice and addiction. She has a brother who died from addiction and a mom who is incredibly depressed, so she wants to find out if she can help the people in her life through being a neuroscientist. I think it is going to be a little heavier, so I have not picked it up yet. This hits closer to home. The last thing I picked up from the library is this novel by Toni Morrison called Recitative. I think that's how you pronounce it. This will be my first read from Toni Morrison. I don't even know what it's about. Oh, that's crazy. Okay, so Twyla and Roberta have known each other since they were 8 years old. They spent some time together living as roommates. They lost touch and then they regained touch with each other, but they can't seem to get along. Although they can't deny the deep bond their shared experience has forged through them. This is written in 1980. We know that either Twyla or Roberta is black and the other is white, but you don't know which one is which. So I'm excited to read this book. I've heard about this book, and I heard that Toni Morrison had a book written from two perspectives, in which one is from a white perspective and one's from a black perspective, and you didn't know which was which. I just didn't know that this is the book. Now that I know that, I'm excited to read it. I might read it tonight. Boom. The next book I want to talk about is Stillhouse Lake by Rachel Kane. This book is about the killing didn't stop when they caught her husband. Though still the target of stalkers and internet trolls who think she has something to do with her husband's crimes, Gwen dares to think her kids can finally grow up in. Now on the back it does say that the car accident reveals her husband's secret life as a serial killer, and I do want to say that there is a true story in which the police found out about a serial killer because someone drove into his garage. So I wonder if this is based off of that. This is about the women and children who had to live life after the husband was found out to be a serial killer, and it was based off of that story. I am hooked. I'm talking about like I haven't started reading it. Started reading it last night. I'm a third of the way through. I love it. It is a very interesting take on a mystery and thriller and the whole genre in general, and I am just really excited to get back into this book and possibly finish it tonight. So far it's a solid 4. I think I know who's doing the killings now, and if it's not this person. So the next book I picked up is No One Is Coming to Save Us by Stephanie Powell Watts. AJ Ferguson, who has returned home to Pinewood, North Carolina to build his dream house and pursue his high school sweetheart, Ava. Factories are in decline and the legacy of Jim Crow is still felt. He's startled to find that the people he once knew and loved have changed just as much as he had. Ava is now married and desperate for a baby. So is he gonna be able to woo Ava? This is during Jim Crow. There are no jobs available. He's building this house. What is he gonna do? I am interested, and I haven't even started the book yet. Although this is probably not your typical feel-good book, I'm imagining that it is a feel-good book for this time, especially in the era of Jim Crow. Feel-good was not defined as it is now. I'm hoping there are some feel-good elements in this book as well. Can you tell I'm a mood reader? Can you tell I'm a mood reader?